Hi Anchal, hi Bhupender. Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you guys. Maybe you can chat and send me a message that you can hear me. Okay. Okay, guys, so let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Kenzema. And today we are going to start with SAS programming language. So SAS programming language is one of the premier language which is used across analytics industry, and it is very much and very extensively used right now in BFSI sector as well. So if you're working for any banks, if you're working for any insurance companies, they are still working and doing coding and data analytics, model building, statistical derivations. They are all doing it on SAS. Uh, Although there are free platforms which are available right now like Python and R, but since SAS is in the market for pretty long and people have confidence on it. And secondly, to change a software on which you are doing modeling and you are submitting your results in the market or to the central banks, there are a lot of regulatory roadblocks which companies face. So to do away with that, a lot of companies, especially banks, as I said, and financial organizations like insurance company, they are still using SAS. So all in all, SAS remains one of the premier languages which is used in data analytics. So I think it's really important if one learns SAS. And also for the people who don't have any knowledge in programming, it's good to start with any language because a lot of basics and how to handle the data while extracting it from the raw databases and doing the transformations, doing statistical modeling, or doing any kind of analytics, you will learn here. And same kind of concepts can be applied in any language. All right. So yeah. So with that, let's start with the SAS programming basics. Okay. So first of all, we can start by looking at how we are using SAS for the complete data analytics flow. So if you look at these top two boxes, which says DW, DW refers to the data warehouse and then stored data files. So usually, whenever you're working for any analytics company or any company, they have a particular data warehouse. Warehouse is like a big warehouse where you store all the data which is getting used in the company. So a company has different departments, different products, different business units, but all these units or departments have their own data which is saved in one giant repository which is called data warehouse. Okay. The common data warehouse is one of the most common data warehouse that is used in the BFSI analytics industry is Teradata. Then apart from this, there are some individual stored data files as well. So there can be a possibility that 5% or 10% or 15% of the data is not stored into that main data warehouse because of the structure in which the data is getting collected, and the way it is getting used in the final for the final usage. So all in all, most of the data, 80 to 90% is saved in the data warehouse, for example, Teradata. And then there are some individual files, you can say miscellaneous things, which are separately saved into the systems, which is called store data files. So this is our complete warehouse which consists of data warehouse plus stored data files from where we can pull the data. Now, the bottom part is basically where SAS will help you. And when I say SAS programming, the main part which we will be referring here is this data query and extraction. Okay, so let me recolor it with something different. Let's maybe color it with yellow. So this is the part which we will be focusing on in learning SAS here. Data query and extraction. How to write queries in SAS? When I say data warehouse, it can contain tons of data. So it can contain several hundreds of files, and each file could be having several hundreds of variables and multiple records of the data. Typically, if, for example, if I give you an example of a credit card department data, which is used for credit risk analytics or credit risk modeling or P&L analytics, it contains a whole base of customers or accounts which a bank has. So typically, if you talk about very large banks, they can have a base of around 30 million customers or 50 million customers or 80 million customers. Okay. That one single database will contain 50 million records or 50 million lines of data. And against every account number, we will be having multiple variables ranging from name, their address, their FICO scores, their income, how much they have spent in the previous months, what was their credit limit. All those variables can be there depending on which type of data which you are referring to. Now, data query is basically how do you write queries in SAS window. Basically, how do you program it? So programming or writing query is one of the same thing. And using those queries or programs, we extract the data from the data warehouses. Okay. Then further, once we are able to extract it, then for our analysis and for further modeling usage, we have to do data cleaning, data transformation. So when I say data cleaning, there can be a possibility that there are some variables which are redundant in my data. A lot of blanks are there in the data, or the variable values are itself not correct. Okay, so there can be a possibility that values which are existing in the data are not correct. Although there are separate data warehouse teams, there are separate IT engineers working day and night on building the data warehouses, checking the sanctity of the data, the quality of the data, the meaningfulness of the data in the sense that it is captured correctly and representing the actual business picture. But still there is a possibility that there are some errors in the data. So first of all, as a data analyst or a business analyst, your job would be to clean that data so that you can rely on it while drawing some conclusions from that data. Then you have to perform data transformation as well. So for example, you have you have some 4 variables which are there in the data, and using those 4 variables, you create a 5th variable. So let's say I have a variable called sales from northern region. Then I have another variable sales from western region, then sales from southern region, sales from eastern region. By region wise, you have sales information. Now you can create one complete variable sales from all the regions or from total or sales total, which will contains all the sales volume coming from all the regions. So this is a very simplistic example which I'm telling right now. There can be multiple type of data transformations that can happen, or that usually happen when we have to use the data for analytical purposes. Okay. Then this data analysis part, this is very big. When I say data analysis, I am including data analytics, data modeling as well here. Okay. Now, this is a further part which we can perhaps, which is right now out of purview of SAS programming. but yes, we will be touching a bit on this part as well. Then data transformations, publishing results, again a part of analysis, more depending on our business purposes. Okay, now let's come to the main SAS program. So to start with the abbreviation, SAS is the abbreviation for Statistical Analysis System. It is developed by SAS Institute in North Carolina, US. Main purposes for which we use SAS is for data entry. So as I said that we can extract data as well. There is a team which maintains and creates data warehouse. So that team, a team of IT engineers, they fill in the data as well to create that data warehouse. So that data entry purpose is also solved using SAS retrieval. What I talked about, that we can extract the data, and management. So transformation of variables, making new variables, or making some statistical variables, or any other management which we need to do from the raw data. Okay. Then SAS has in lot of inbuilt features that you have to just give command to SAS in a way of a particular programming code, and it will give you the reports out of your data. It will prepare graphs for you. Okay. Then statistical and mathematical analysis also can be done using SAS. You have different procedures, different ways you can write programs so that all that statistical and mathematical calculation which you used to do on your paper in your statistics course or on calculator, you can directly give a simple one-liner or two-liner command to SAS, and SAS will do it for you. Then again, these two things are primarily intertwined, that the data and the information which we are pulling from the data can be used for business planning, forecasting, decision support, for research purposes, for project management, and etc. and etc. So primarily for our part, main thing is are these three. How do we use the data? How do we retrieve it? How do we utilize it to derive some analysis out of it? I'll keep today's session very basic because this is an introductory session and it is a first session for you guys, so that you just get a gist of what SAS is about and it doesn't become too heavy for you. Okay, let's come straight to the SAS window. So the software which I am referring here right now is SAS. The window here is for SAS 9.2 version. In a lot of companies right now, they have moved to the SAS Enterprise Guide. So the outlook of the software might be a little bit different, but the basic structure remains same. That you have one program editor window, you have one log window, and you have one output window. Okay. So this is this part, the middle one is called your editor window. So if you can see at the button in the bottom, this is clicked, it says editor. Editor window is where you can write all your code, you can edit your code, you can change your code, you can delete your code, you can rewrite your code. So all code writing goes into this editor window. Yes, any questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, please ये वाली screen बड़ी कर दीजिए.
Okay, let me enhance this screen.
Yes, sir.
I'm going full screen now.
Now it is okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Then on the left side, you have Explorer and Results window. So when I say Explorer, it's like a file explorer window where it will tell you where all the files are placed, where are all the folders are placed. That will be displayed simply here. Okay. This is your typical log window. So whenever you run a program, SAS will generate a log along it. It will tell you what all has happened when you have run a particular program. If there is any error while you have run your program, you have to come to log window, and log window will tell you that yes, your program has run into error, and what error is there. That also will be displayed by SAS. So that is the beauty while working with SAS, that it will most of the times, I would say 80 to 90% of the times, it will be able to find out that what uh, error you have done while writing your code, so that you don't have to go back and check your code line by line and run it line by line and check where the error could have happened. So it will tell you that in this line or in this row, SAS has encountered a particular problem. There can be other programs. So there are other data retrieval programs. For example, SQL. There are separate SQL programs which again pull the data from individual data warehouses. But whenever you run into a problem, so for example, let's talk about a SQL program provided by Teradata software itself. Okay, so within Teradata, you have a SQL programming language also provided by Teradata company. It directly connects to the Teradata data warehouse. So there, if you run into any problem, it will just say your program is not working. Please check on the error. Then you have to go back row by row and you have to check where the error has happened. You know, that is a tedious task. But SAS is real beauty in this. It will tell you exactly where the problem is lying. Okay. So for example, let's say this person run the program. If you see this 1 and 2. Okay. Let me try to put some pointers. So if you see this part, this row number 1 and row number 2. This is the program the programmer has written. Proc print data. Just don't get confused with what is proc, what is this program looking like, and how will I write it. Forget all about that. We are going to cover that part. Right now, I'm just telling you how the log works. So the programmer has written a very short and simple and sweet program. Proc print data equal to air, semicolon, run, semicolon. The error which it has given is file work air.data does not exist. So it has simply told you the file which you're trying to refer actually does not exist. So this is a very simple error. And after that, what has happened in the SAS system? The SAS system stopped processing this step because of errors. And what errors? The error is mentioned here. Okay. So this is how the SAS will tell you what are the errors are there. And then this is a simple, what is the runtime and CPU time utilized. So we don't have to worry much about these things. We sometimes worry about this when the data is huge, we have to do multiple processes in one program. Then when we have to optimize our codes, then we usually focus on this part. But otherwise, for right now, we just have to focus on the top part. Okay. Now look at the other part. Sorry, look at some other program. Let's look at this program. Okay. So this is a simple program which was run by a coder. It says data air set sashelp.air run. Forget about what this program trying to do. This program has run properly. If you says there at the first line, it has says there are 144 observations read from the data, blah, blah, blah. And the data set work air has this observation. So basically there is no red mark here. So if you see at the first program, there is an error word, but here there is nothing red which is coming out. So your program has run properly, so you are good to go further. Now, after doing this, the first program is run again here. Now some SAS is able to find this program, and again, as you see, there is no error in my log. So this program is also okay. So after you run any program, it is mandatory that you go to the log window and check if there is any problem in your program or not. All right. Any questions still here, Panchal, Upendra, or anyone?
No, sir.
No, no.
All right. So I'll move on to the next slide. So this is my output window. So the program which I have run here, proc print data equal to air, what output it is showing. So it says there were 144 observations read from the dataset work.air. Okay. So if you see here, it is showing you all the data and it contains three variables. Oh, sorry, two variables, date and air. Okay. Now all 144 observations are getting displayed here. So, there is a scrolling option here, but since this is a screenshot, so obviously I cannot scroll, but you can just scroll down into the actual window and you will be able to see all the 144 observations. Now this output option is more useful or only useful when the data set is small, but when you're actually working on the company data sets for the department, the data set would be running into millions of rows. So then it's not a good idea to go to the output window or see it, or maybe you can just check some sample observations to get a hang of the data of how it is looking like. You can run, let's say, you can select 10 observations or 100 observations and see how your data is looking like. But yes, for the for the actual data set which runs into millions, there's no point of looking all the output in one go. SAS will hang basically because it will require a hell lot of memory to display that kind of a data to you. Okay. Okay. So this is simply, all three windows written together, displayed together. So this is your editor window. Then you have the second window, your log window. Then you have third window, which is your output window. Okay. And here you have Explorer window where it is telling you all the data sets which are saved in the location LOC. So this is simply like a file icon which you see in your computer, and within that file icon, if you click it, you can see different or folder. I would say this LOC would be a folder, and within that you can see different files. Some are Excel files, some are PPT, some are PDF. But here, since we are talking about SAS, so all SAS data sets will be displayed here. So this is the particular library which is referring to SAS data section. So just to revise, first we have our program editor or editor window. It is used to compose the programs, and here where we also execute them. This displays the log, one of the most important things to tell you whether your program has run properly or not, or if there is any error or not. Then finally, you have the output window where you can see the output of the data. In some cases, output window is very useful and you cannot avoid it. For example, if you are preparing any graphs or you're preparing any charts or you're running any models, then obviously that model output or graph output you need to see. Then you refer to the output window only. But just for your raw data, usually it doesn't make any sense to see that in your output data because the number of observations is pretty high. Now, these are very important things. A lot of people say that this is an extra work which we are creating while writing the programs. But trust me, when after 2 or 3 months you have to come back to the programs, your SAS program, I have to check that what you have done in the past, why you have done in the past. So all these things become very important. Because actually, when you're writing any program, whether it is a SAS program or it is a Python program, or it's a SQL program, you don't write 2 or 3 lines of code. You write thousands of lines of code. Okay, so for that, it is very it is very important to follow some of the practices so that you can later on come back to the code and understand it. And also when you run into errors for debugging purposes as well, these tips are very important. Okay. So first of all and most important, document your program with comments. Okay. So above your program, you can write why this program is created, what you're actually trying to do in this program. Is there any exception which someone needs to consider while looking for any program? So all this stuff or any other thing which you want to write, you can write in those comments. This will be commented out, and obviously this will be not part of the actual program, but it would serve your purpose. And especially when you're transferring these codes to any other person who will further work on your code, it becomes very important for them to understand it. This serves a very good purpose for that. Okay. Then the variable name, that the way you are naming the variable. So for example, if I'm let's take the same example, the sales from different regions. So my original variable sales north, sales east, sales west, sales east. Okay, these four variables are there. And let's say I create a final variable which says S underscore total. Okay. So this is not a descriptive and meaningful name. This is just a short name which I have written. If I myself visit this variable after 3 months, I will not remember what this S means. Or if I give the same variable to any other person or to the senior management, they will not understand what does S means. Okay, so it's always advisable to write the variable names properly so that just by reading the variable's name or variable name, a person would be able to understand what this variable can be referring to. Okay. Again, for every data set, we have a data dictionaries as well, where which contains the extensive definition of that particular variable. But yes, the variable name should be at least indicative what that can be. So the name of the variable should be descriptive and meaningful. Again, we will come to that later. What is a permanent space or permanent library, which is a temporary space or temporary library. But what they're trying to say here is whatever important data sets you're having, keep a copy of them in your system. Okay, that is automatically done by SAS. You don't have to do that manually, but there is a way to do it. So we will come to that. Then for working on the variables, which we can use a keep or drop statement. So you can ignore as of now. Then if then statements are used. Obviously, whenever there is a need, we need to use these statements. Okay. And avoid creating unnecessary data sets. Why that is important? Because when you are running the code, when you're creating the data sets, you're creating the data sets on a particular server. And that server has a limited space. So if you keep on creating unnecessary and a lot of data sets on a regular basis, so most of your space would be occupied by these unnecessary files. Okay. So either at a first go, do not create them, or what you can do, you create them once your purpose is served within a day or two, or within few hours, within few minutes, just delete those data sets. Okay. Avoid unnecessary sorting. This is very important, guys, and this becomes important when the data set is huge, which is usually the case when you're working on real data sets. So imagine 50 million rows of data. 500 variables and we are sorting one variable. Sorting is basically, let's say you are arranging it in a ascending or descending order for numerical variables, or you're arranging it in alphabetical order for categorical variables. Okay. This will take hell lot of time. It will use a lot of system resources. Your SAS might actually crash. So if it is not required, then there is no need of sorting the data. Okay. Then again, this is an optimization thing. Variable size we need to optimize. We can cover that later on. Okay. And again, this is more part of this thing. If you do not need a particular data set, there is a way which SAS helps you, that you create a null data set. So null data set is basically a data set which is not actually getting created in your system. Okay, so there is no output data set created, but you can check some of the processing. So once you start programming, you will be learning more and more about these methods as well. But yes, all in all, the gist of this is write sufficient comments for your programs. Number one. Second thing, your variable name should be kept properly and they should be indicative of the actual meaning of those variables. Third thing, do not create unnecessary data sets and try to save the space as much as you can. I hope we are clear till now. We have only
Yes, sir.
We have only few minutes left. So as I said in the beginning, apart from the proper data warehouses like Teradata, there can be different data warehouses as well. So, for example, or different data sources. So, for example, SAS can read data from a simple Excel file which is saved on your system. It can read the data from a simple text file which is saved on your system. Any Oracle database or MS Access database or Teradata database. So, SAS is capable of reading or taking the input of the data from multiple data sources. It is not limited to one data source. So whatever kind of data you are having, SAS will be able to utilize it and perform the analysis on that. Okay. Then this is more about creating a data set. So in case you're working in a data warehouse team and you have to create a data set, so you can use different ways. So you can use the card statements, you can use in file, or you can use input formats and in formats. So we will come to that, but we'll keep this part short because this is more about creating a data set. Okay. So again, some very quick and small, quick things. Very important for the people who are working on it for the first time. So the rows of the data, they can be called rows or they can be called observations. So these are the same thing. Don't get confused. When somebody tells you these two words, they mean the same thing. Then columns are also called variables. I particularly prefer to use this term. So in my training, you will hear me talking about saying variables and using the terminology observation. Some people prefer it otherwise. They use rows and they say columns. So it is just more a personal choice. Okay. So this is one particular example of a data set, a very small data set. These are your individual variables: ID, name, height, and weight. Okay. So this is my one data set, very small data set. I have 4 variables. Okay. Or 4 columns. So as you can see in a simple terminology, these are 4 columns. So that's why they are said columns. Okay. Vertically if you see, and if you see horizontally, these are the 6 rows. Okay. So not this one, these are the headers. You have these 6 rows or 6 observations. So let's choose one. Let's call them variables only, and let's call these as observations. Now, one particular thing which you have to notice here is that this name variables contains something in text form, and these variable ht and wt, a height or weight, contains data in numeric form. Okay. So primarily in when you will be working on any data set, there will be two types of variables. One is numeric and one is character. So these variables are my numeric variables. I'm not talking about ID here because this is just a I'm taking it as a serial number. Then my variable name this particular variable, it contains name and it contains the value in character format. Okay, so these are called character variables. One thing which is very peculiar and particular to SAS only, whenever there's a missing value in the character field, you will see it as a blank here. As you can see, nothing is mentioned here. But when it talks about numerical variable, the blanks are represented by dot. Okay, so this is a very small thing and very peculiar to SAS. There are programs in which there are languages in which both numerics and character variables, if they have a missing value, they are represented by a blank only. In some places, they are represented by dot only. So it depends on programming language to programming language. But yes, in SAS, this is the case. Okay. Now, this would be the last slide for today. In my SAS, in the SAS program, it has two parts. One is data step, another is proc. So proc is a short form of procedure. Now, data step, lot of times, if you, let's say, if you want to do one particular thing, you will use data step, and a simple data step will be able to do that. Let's say, for example, if you have to create a new variable out of the existing variable, you can simply utilize the data step. But what proc does is, and proc is very powerful and it's more important when we talk about analysis or analytics or statistical modeling or business intelligence. The proc step becomes very important because it contains the inherent long codes which will run at the backend. So for example, if there is a proc called proc means, okay, we'll come to the syntax later. So we have to give SAS command that run proc means on a particular data set. So it will take all my data. It will take all the variables which I have mentioned there. It will calculate mean, median, minimum, max of all those variables and display the result for me. What is happening at the backend is within the SAS, there are long programs written at the back of every procedure. So when you will hit on that proc, or you will run that proc, the whole data will be processed through those long backend programs, and only the output will be displayed in front of you. So what is happening at the back, you won't be able to know, but all the output would be displayed in front of you. We'll come to some examples later and things will become clear to you. This is an example of very simple proc. I don't want to go into proc example here because this is just for printing purposes, or this is one procedure which is happening. But let's say if the data part, which I was saying. Okay. So, okay, there is some error in which they have written the program. But okay. So here what we are doing is, let's just focus on this part. We are creating a new variable called kilometers using the existing variable miles. So anything on the left side of the equal to is the new variable which you are creating, and on the right side are the variables which are already existing in the data. So using the variable miles, I am creating a variable kilometer. I am using a simple data statement for that. Okay. But now I want to see that data on my screen. If let's say the data is small, so I can simply do a proc print data, or I can run the procedure called proc print, and it will display me the data. Okay. So this is a very simple proc print. Usually, when you will be working with the real data, again, you won't be needing to use the proc print data. I haven't used a proc print, I think, since last lot of years. So it's not required for large data sets and not even recommended. The most important part, what I was talking about, is this. SAS is used for doing procedures. Procedures is used for performing statistical analysis, to print some particular reports, or to create any graphs. Okay. So this part for statistics, analytics, or modeling, the procedures are used. And this is your BI part. For printing reports and creating graphs, your procedures. Okay. So yeah, let's wrap up the session now. I will just cover quickly what we have gone through today. So first of all, we looked at these main windows of SAS, which is your program editor. This is a program editor where you write your code. Here is a log which tells you how your program is run. Then you have your output window where you can display the output or the data which you can see in your system. Okay, these two windows are together. Then on the left side, we have the Explorer where you can explore the files and folders. And finally, how my data set is actually looking, how my sample data set looks like, what is the character variable, what is the numeric variable, and what is a data step and what is a proc step. A very initial introduction to a data step of and proc step we have done today. Nice. Yeah. So that's it for today. And thanks a lot for attending today's session. Please let me know if you have any questions. And in case you have any questions later on as well, please feel free to write us at kenzema@gmail.com. And our team will respond to your queries pretty quickly. So any questions before we end the session, people?
No, sir.
No question.
Okay. All right, then thank you so much for attending today's session, and we will be sending you the invite for the next session very quickly. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.